density and denoted by J, it is a vector quantity. Now what do you mean by current density? If the current is passing through a conductor, then the current will be same in this direction. Now what will be the current which is passing through the unit cross-section area normally is known as the current density. So current density will be equal to the current passing through this conductor I divided by area of cross-section. In this condition, the area of cross-section is normally to the direction of current. Means we can take A as the area vector. Actually, area is a scalar quantity, but we can make it vector quantity by giving a certain direction, and direction of area is perpendicular to its cross section. So this will be, if this is the area of A and this is the A vector will be the area of cross section and its direction will be, the area of cross section of this is A and its direction of A vector is normally to this area of cross section. So if the current, if we take this conductor, this is the area of cross section. Now this area of cross section is parallel to this and current is passing through it. So the current is passing normally to this area of cross section. So the current density will be equal to J is equal to I bata A. Now if for this area of cross section, now this area of cross section, the current is in this direction, the direction of area vector is in this direction, they are not in the same direction. Means the direction of here, the direction of current is same as direction of area of cross section, but here the direction of area of cross section is in this direction and direction of current. So there is an angle theta between the direction of current and area of cross section. So we will take a component of area of cross section in the direction of current and that will be equal to A cos theta. So what will be the current density? Current density will be equal to J will be equal to, current density will be equal to I divided by A cos theta, or we can write I is equal to J into A cos theta. So we can write I is equal to J dot A. So it is a scalar product. So the current is a scalar quantity and area vector is vector quantity. Current density is vector quantity. The scalar product of current density and area vector is I. So we can write I is equal to J dot A. Now what will be the unit of J? The unit of J will be equal to, the unit of I is equal to ampere. The unit of area is meter square, so its unit will be ampere divided by meter square. So we can write its unit is ampere A divided by m square, or we can also write it as A m minus 2. So this is the unit of current density. Now we know that the resistance is equal to rho into L bata A, where L is the length of the conductor, A is the area of cross section of conductor, and rho is the resistivity. So the resistance of this conductor will be equal to R will be equal to rho into L bata A. And we know that V is equal to IR from Ohm's law. We know that from Ohm's law we know that the current passing through the conductor will be proportional to the potential difference across it if the physical conditions are not changed or remains constant. So V is proportional to I, or V is equal to I into R. So we substitute the value of R here. So V will be equal to I into rho into L bata A. Now I bata A is J. So V will be equal to J into rho into L. Now what will be the value of V? V is the potential difference across the conductor. This was the conductor. V is the potential difference here. L is the length. Then the electrical field will be from positive to this direction. This will be equal to V divided by L. So we can write V is equal to E into L. V is equal to, we can, so here we substitute that V is equal to E into L will be equal to J rho into L. L cancel. So E will be equal to J into rho. So if we write in vector notation, then E vector will be equal to rho into J. This is the one relation, and this is also known as the one of the method to write the vector representation of Ohm's law. Now we can write J is equal to E divided by rho. So 1 bata rho is equal to 1 bata rho is equal to conductivity sigma. So J will be equal to sigma into A. So these two are known as the vector representation of Ohm's law, or we can say the Ohm's law can be written in vector form in the relation with the current density. Then E is equal to rho into J. E vector is equal to rho into J vector. Similarly, we can write J vector is equal to sigma into E. So the direction of J and E are in the same direction. So this is all about the relation between current density with the electrical field. The rho is the resistivity and sigma is the conductivity. And conductivity is equal to 1 bata rho. So this is all about the current density. Now what is the free electron model of conductor? Now in any matter is made up of atoms. Atom is a neutral. Neutral means the total charge is 0. In the atom there is a nucleus which is at the center, and in nucleus the charge is positive charge. This positive charge is due to the presence of proton. The size of nucleus is very small, and it is of the order of 10 raised to minus 14 meters. Now, the number of protons here, suppose the number of protons here is 11, as in the case of sodium, there will be 11. Then there will be electron around this, that will be also equal to the 11. So, the total charge of plus 10 proton plus 10 electron will be equal to 0. So, the total charge of the sodium atom will be 0. So, now the size of atom is very large in comparison to the nucleus, and size of the atom is 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Now the electrons are rotating or revolving around the nucleus in the different orbit. In first orbit there are 2 electrons, in next is 8 electrons, and the last electron for the sodium is here. And this electron which is in the outermost orbit is known as valence electron. So the affinity of valence electron will be least with the nucleus. So whereas these electrons which are in the inner orbits are known as the bound electrons. Bound electrons are not free. They are always bound with the nucleus. Whereas this valence electron is free and it can leave this atom. So now the atom will be positive. When one electron is left, then the total charge will be one electron is left. Now electron is 9. So the total charge is +1. So here we will represent the atom, which is now its atom will be, now it will be iron, because it has got positive charge and this is fixed. So in the metal or in the conductor, the atoms are arranged in the lattice arrangement, means the distance between these atoms are equal and they are fixed. They are proton plus electron, which are bound electron, and this electron which was valence electron. Now for the case of silver, if we take the case of the silver, then there is one electron. If we take the gold, then there are 2 electrons, and for aluminum there are 3 electrons in the valence orbit. So out of these electrons which are in the outermost orbit, they are free, and when it is free, then this atom will be not neutral, it will be positive charge. If one free electron is out, then its charge will be +1. So this electron will be inside the conductor. It will be not stationary. The temperature, room temperature of the conductor is nearly 27 degrees Celsius, which is equal to 300 Kelvin. Now at this temperature, these electrons are not at rest. The positive ions are at rest. They are not movable, whereas the free electrons are movable and they have their thermal velocity and they move in the different direction, or we can say and different velocity. So we can say the velocity of this free electron is random and it is not equal. These free electrons can collide with the free electron, it can collide with the positive ion, it can collide with the boundary of the metal. So these electrons are not at rest, they are moving with the different velocity in different direction. So what will be the total or net thermal velocity of these electrons? So we can find the thermal velocity. U will be equal to U1 vector plus U2 plus that U1 vector. Now since their directions are random, so the total vector sum of thermal velocity will be equal to 0. So what do we take that? Suppose if we take here some cross section, we take the some cross section here. Now the electron are motion. Now current is, what is the current? Current is flow of charges. Now the electrons are moving and it is crossing it. Then why the current in this conductor is 0? Because number of electrons which are passing outside will be same as it is coming. Electrons are coming this side, going this side. So the total number of electrons in the conductor through any cross section will be equal to 0. So there will be no current, although the free electrons are moving randomly, and due to the motion of these electrons, there will be no current, because the motion of the electron is not in a particular direction. The motion of the electron is random, so the net velocity of these free electrons is 0, because velocity is a vector quantity. The net speed of the free electron is not 0, because speed is a scalar quantity, but the net thermal velocity will be equal to 0 because it is a vector sum and vector sum will be equal to 0. So there will be no current due to the motion of free electron in the conductor because the number of electrons moving in any particular direction is 0 because the number of electrons which are coming inside it will be equal to number of electrons going outside it. So there will be no current in the conductor due to the thermal agitation or thermal motion of the free electrons. So this is all about the free electron model. Now what will happen if we connect this conductor with some external electrical field? So we connect it with a battery whose potential is V. This end will be positive, this end will be negative. Now electrons are moving randomly here. Now due to this, what will be the electrical field? Electrical field will be equal to V divided by L. And the direction of electrical field will be from positive. So the direction of electrical field will be this side, from positive this side. Now what will be the force on the charged particle in the electrical field? The force on the charged particle is, the force will be equal to, charged particle will be equal to Q into E. Q is the charge and E is the electrical field. Now the charge of electron is minus E. So the force on electron will be equal to F is equal to minus E small e, which is the charge of the electron, into capital E, which is the electrical field. Now what will be? The force will be there on the electron. So due to this force, there will be acceleration. And acceleration is equal to force divided by mass. So acceleration will be equal to minus E into capital E divided by m is the mass of the electron, E is the charge of the electron and the electron. So the force will be equal to minus small e capital E divided by n. The direction of force will be in the opposite direction of the electrical field due to the negative sign because the charge is electron is negative. So the force on electron will be in this direction, which is opposite to the direction of electrical field. So what will be the effect of this electrical field? Now the electrons which are in thermal motion, now there will be a additional force. There is additional force on this electron, and due to this additional force there will be a acceleration of this free electron in the direction opposite to the electric field. So formally I have showed that the electrons are moving in the random direction, but now the total force will be equal to the force, the total force now will be on the electron, and due to this force the direction of velocity or thermal velocity will be changed. So the total velocity will be equal to thermal velocity superimposed by the velocity due to the acceleration of the charge. So we know that from the mechanics that final velocity v is equal to u plus at, where u is the initial velocity, a is the acceleration, and the t is the time, and v is the final velocity. Now in this case, suppose we take some electron here, and this is its starting point. Its velocity is u1, and this direction. Here there is a positive charge. It will collide with it. Now the electron is accelerated, but this accelerated electron will collide with this molecule. Now the time for collision is suppose t1 is time taken for this. Now here the velocity will be equal to v1. Now when it collides with the positive ions, then it will lose the energy. means it will be lost the energy which he has got due to the acceleration, and this electron is absorbed by the positive ion, and this will be ejected in random direction by another velocity u2. So it is not possible that this electron being negative charge and this ion which is positively charged, and this electron is absorbed here and it becomes the neutral atom. It is not possible. This electron will give energy, then there will be vibration of this atom, and due to vibration of this atom, the electron, one electron will be ejected with the random velocity. Suppose the velocity is u2. Similarly, when it collides with another, then again its velocity will change. So we can say for first collision, the velocity v1 is here is equal to u1 minus small e. This is the acceleration into time taken is t1. So this will be the velocity here. Now, for this is the first electron. Now this is the second electron. The second electron will be the velocity when it collides with another positive ion. V2 will be equal to u2 minus small e into capital E into T2 bata m. Similarly, if we take the n free electron, then the velocity of n free electron Vn is equal to un minus e small e into capital E bata m into Tn. Now what will be the average velocity of these free electrons? Now, so what will be that? We will take the sum and divide it by n. If n is the number of electrons and sigma Vi is the V1 plus V2 plus Vn. Similarly, U1 plus U2 plus Un is equal to summation of Ui divided by n. So this will be the average initial velocity. It is the average final velocity minus small a capital E. Acceleration is constant. Multiply the average time which is equal to t1 plus t2 plus t3, that's 3n divided by n. So this will be the, so we know that the average velocity is equal to 0 in the circle, that is 0. So summation of ui bata n, that average will be equal to 0. So we can write the average velocity. Average velocity V is equal to average velocity U minus small e into capital E bata m into average time. Now we know that the mean value or the vector sum of U is 0. So Ui is equal to 0. So V average value will be equal to 0 minus E capital E bata m, and this time is known as the relaxation time tau. Now what is the tau? We will define tau. Now here we know that where the electron we start here and collide here, its path will be a straight line. Now in between these the electron is relaxed, means it is not colliding with another. So this is a relaxation. The time for the average time for two collision is known as the relaxation time. So relaxation time is average time for the collision of free electron with the positive ion, and that is the relaxation time, and we denote it by 2. And average velocity will be known as Vd, drift velocity. This is a drift velocity. So drift velocity will be equal to, we can write drift velocity Vd is equal to minus E into capital E bata m into 2. So now we can also define the drift velocity. Similar to the relaxation time. What is the relaxation time? Relaxation time is average time or the collision of electron with positive ions. And the order of this time is 10 raised to minus 14 seconds. The average time for the relaxation time is very short, and that is equal to 10 raised to minus 14 seconds. Now, what is the drift velocity? Drift velocity, when we apply, if there is no electrical field, then there will be no drift velocity. Now, drift velocity will be due to the external electrical field. Now, when we connect it with the external battery, the electrical field will be from positive to this direction, will be positive to this one, and the electron will drift in the opposite direction to the electrical field, and drift velocity will be equal to minus small e capital E bata m into tau. So we can say, or we can define, the drift velocity is average velocity of free electron in the opposite direction to the electrical field. Now, what will be the magnitude of drift velocity? Drift velocity is of the order of 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to power minus 5 meter per second. And what is the thermal velocity? Thermal velocity is very high. Thermal velocity is of the order of thermal velocity is of the order of 10 raised to 4 meter per second. So we can say the drift velocity is very small in comparison to the thermal velocity of the electron, which is of the order of 10 raised to 40. So in this way we can define the drift velocity. So drift velocity will be due to the external electrical field. Drift velocity is average velocity or mean velocity of the free electron in the direction opposite to the electrical field, and its magnitude is of the order of 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 5 meter per second, whereas the magnitude of thermal velocity is very large. It is 10 raised to 4 to 10 raised to 5. So in this way we can use the free electron theory to explain what is the drift velocity. So the drift velocity is of the order 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 5 meter per second, where the relaxation time is 10 raised to minus 40 seconds. So this is very small time. Now how we can explain this phenomenon by the actual motion of the electron. Now suppose we take this electron is at the initially at its boost, and when the electrical field is not applied, then its path here, it collides here, then it goes here, it collides here, it goes here, collides here, and so I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 collisions. Now the solid line will increase the path of free electrons, which is random, and it goes from A point to A dash point in the absence of the electrical field. Now if we apply the electric field, then the electron will drift in the opposite direction of electric field, and its path is shown by the dashes. This is what the collision, then here, then here, then here, then here, and here. Now here we say that when without the electrical field, it reaches to here. And in the presence of electric field, this electron reaches to PDS. Then this distance A dash to B dash is known as the drift displacement. This displacement will be a drift velocity. Drift displacement, and drift velocity will be equal to this drift distance A dash B dash divided by the time taken. So this will be very small. So in this way we can say that when there is a electrical field, the direction of electrical field was in this direction. It was in this direction, and drift is in the opposite direction. So there will be a drift of free electron in opposite direction to the direction of electrical field, and drift displacement is very small. So the drift velocity is very small, and it is the order of 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to minus 5 meter per second. So now we will take the next, what is the mobility. Now what do you mean by the mobile? Now we have two type of phone. One is the basic phone and another is the mobile phone. Basic phone we cannot take outward, but mobile phone we can take outward. So mobile means it can move. So in the conductor there are the charges, and charges moves. Then the mobility of the charges will depend on the type of conductor. Now for the conductor there will be mobile charges or electron. For the case of electrolyte, there are the positive ions and negative ions. In the case of semiconductor, there are holes and electrons. So there will be mobility. Now what will be the mobility? Mobility will depend upon the electrical field. Now mobility is defined as drift velocity per unit electrical field. Now drift velocity is due to the external electric field. The ratio of electrical field, drift velocity to electrical field is known as mobility. So we can say what is the mobility? Mobility is drift velocity per unit electrical field. Mobility is mu is equal to Vd by E. So if it is there, so Vd by E, what will be Vd by E? Vd by E is drift velocity per electrical field. So mu will be equal to. So mu is a positive quantity. So here instead of we take the drift velocity, we will take the magnitude of drift velocity, and that is equal to drift speed. So mu is equal to Vd. Here it is a magnitude of drift velocity. Here E is the magnitude of electrical field. So the mobility is the drift velocity per unit electrical field. Now we can put the value of Vd. Vd is equal to, here we will take only the positive value, means we will take the magnitude of Vd, and that is equal to small e, capital E, but M into tau divided by electric E. So this will be the mobility. So here this E cancel, so it will be equal to small e 2 divided by m. So mobility will be equal to small e into tau bata m. So mobility is always positive quantity. The mobility will be different for electron, mobility will different for hole, mobility will different for the positive ion and for the negative ion in the electron, because their mass is different. And relaxation time will be also for different. So the mobility, what will be the unit of mobility? Mobility it will be, you can write mu is equal to Vd, and Vd is equal to mass per second. Electrical field is volt per meter. So it will be equal to meter square into V minus 1 into second inverse. So meter square हो गया divided by volt and second. So it is meter square volt minus 1 second. We can also write electric like Newton per coulomb. So it will be equal to meter per second but Newton per coulomb. So it will be equal to m into c divided by s time into n. So we can have the unit of mobility like this. Now mobility, as I told you, the mobility depends upon the mass. The mobility of electron will be different, whereas the mobility of positive ions and negative ions in the case of electron is different. The mobility of electron in semiconductor U E will be equal to small e, that is charge of the electron divided mass of electron into the relaxation time for the electron, and for the holes mu of holes will be equal to small e but a mass of the hole into the relaxation time of the hole. So the mobility of electron and hole is different in the semiconductor. Now we will find the relation between drift velocity and the current. Now current is due to the flow of charges. Now when we apply the electrical field, then the electrons will drift opposite to the electrical field. Then we have to find the current. So suppose we take this conductor, its area cross section is A, its length is L, and if we take from this position to this position, A to B or C to D, this distance A, if we take is the drift velocity. Drift velocity is distance from here to here, A to B and C to D. Then it will be distance covered in the 1 second. Velocity is the distance covered in 1 second. So in 1 second there will be drift of electron from this section to this section. So what will be the current? Current will be equal to dq by dt. Now we have to find how much charge is flowing from this section to this section in 1 second. So if n, small n is the number of free electron per unit volume in the conductor, and that is very large quantity, and for quarter of copper it is equal to 10⁻28. So number of free electrons per unit volume is very large in the case of any conductor. Now Vd is the drift velocity, A is the area of cross section, and E is the charge. Now in 1 second the charge will enter from here and leave from here. So the total charge which enters here and leave here, that will be the current. 1 second. So what will the current will be equal to number of free electrons per unit volume multiply the volume of this ABCD. So the current will be equal to I will be equal to N. N is the number of free electron per unit volume multiply with area A, area cross section into Vd. So this will be the volume of the cylinder A into Vd multiply the charge of the electronic E. So current will be equal to NEA into Vd. So we can relate current in terms of this verse. There is also alternate way. We can find the current. Now if we take this, the charges which enter here and leave here, and if the time taken from electron to enter and leave is small t, then what will be the total charge flowing in this conductor in t time? That will be equal to the density of the electron multiplied the volume of the cylinder divided by the time. So the volume of this cylinder will be equal to length into A. This is volume multiplied by n. That will be total number of electrons and charge. So this will be the charge which is in this cylinder. And if time takes t, then the time taken t will be equal to the distance divided by velocity. So distance is total L divided by velocity. This L will cancel, so it is equal to NEAVD. So same relation we can find. So we can find the current in terms of drift velocity either by this method or this method. This method is easier and this is also easier. So in both the way we can find the relation with the drift velocity and current. So current will depend upon charge density. Charge is same, area of cross section. More area of cross section, more current will be there. So if the conductor is there and current is passing through it, then for this conductor N is same, E is same. Now area of cross section will depend N E D. So if the constant current is there, then N E A B D will be constant. So N for the metal is constant, E constant. So A this will be equal to constant.